You live in a slum where misery stacks higher than the rooftops. People here don't really live. They simply exist. You share a tin roof with your mother and your little sister. Your father died in a shootout between two rival gangs, collateral damage in a war that was never his. Your mother is the only pillar holding the household together. So that you and your sister can go to school and have a future, she works 20 hours a day until her body gives out. You study hard with a clear dream, to become a politician, to change the reality of your environment and give them the dignified life they deserve. One ordinary afternoon, your mother becomes gravely ill. The doctor at the local clinic says she needs urgent surgery. The cost is 5,000 pesos.
What?
For a businessman in the wealthy part of the city, 5,000 pesos is what he spends on a bottle of wine on a Tuesday afternoon. But for you, 5,000 pesos is an astronomical number, an unreachable fortune, the absolute border between life and death. You try to borrow money from the neighbors, but asking for money in your neighborhood is like trying to squeeze water from a stone. No one has anything, and those who do don't trust a 14-year-old kid. You drop out of school and get a job as a porter at the Central Market. Your back cracks under the weight of boxes heavier than you. At the end of the day, they pay you 100 pesos. You get home excited to show your mother the money, but you find her unconscious. Her time is running out. You run to ask your boss for an advance, but he laughs in your face. To him, empathy is not profitable. In absolute desperation, you see a poster taped to a light pole. It reads, "Immediate loans. No collateral, no questions. It's your only option." You go to the address, a back room filled with smoke. The lender offers you the 5,000 pesos with a shark smile and a 50% weekly interest rate. You read the fine print of the verbal contract. The collateral is not your house. You don't have one. The collateral is your biological assets. If you don't pay, they collect a functional kidney or a cornea. The good news is they let you choose which one you want to keep. You sign the deal with your... You pay for the surgery. The doctors do their job, but your mother's body gives up. The operation fails. She dies that same night. But grief is a luxury the poor cannot afford. Before you can even cry, the deadline for the first payment arrives. You don't have the money. The collectors don't offer condolences. They offer a beating that leaves you spitting teeth. They give you a simple ultimatum. You have 1 week to pay the principal plus interest, or they will take your little sister as final payment and sell her to a human trafficking network. Just when desperation makes you want to sell your soul, a stranger appears. A man approaches you with a job offer. No resume, no references required. He just needs you to be small, fast, and desperately in need of money. 1 week's salary is enough to pay the loan sharks. Since you've lived here your whole life, you know exactly what it is. Drug trafficking across the border. If you're lucky, you get paid. If you're unlucky, you end up as an anonymous corpse in the desert. You accept, telling yourself the oldest lie every criminal tells himself. It'll be just this one time. In theory, the job is simple. You're a mule. The operations manager takes you to the entrance of a hidden natural cave. The hole is so narrow that only a malnourished 14-year-old could fit. For the first time in your life, hunger has given you a competitive advantage in the labor market. They put a backpack on you. Your mission is to crawl through the darkness, following a series of marked rocks. You emerge on the other side of the border. A watchtower stands in the distance. You move through the bushes in terror. Every snapping branch sounds like a gunshot in your ear. You walk 3 kilometers until you find a specific dead tree. That's the drop point. You leave the merchandise and disappear. No one sees you. No one greets you. You're a logistical ghost. The job turns out to be suspiciously easy. For 7 days, you cross the border, evading patrols thanks to your size and ingenuity. You earn the money, pay the debt in full, the loan sharks disappear, and your sister is safe. You feel like the hero of a movie. Full of pride and relief, you go to the intermediary to tell him you're done, that it was a pleasure doing business, but you're going back to your honest life. Do you think this is like a summer job? Like driving for an app where you can just log out whenever you want? The recruiter looks at you with a paternal smile that freezes your blood. He pulls out his phone and shows you a photo taken that very morning. It's your sister walking into school, smiling, unaware of everything. He calmly explains the organization's human resources policy. In this industry, voluntary resignation does not exist. You have talent, and wasting talent is a cardinal sin here. You now know too much. You know the routes, the faces, the system. You're no longer a temporary employee. You're a fixed asset. The new job offer is simple and non-negotiable. You keep working for them indefinitely, or your sister will suffer a tragic accident on her way home. In that moment, reality hits you harder than any punch. You realize your success didn't buy your freedom. On the contrary, it proved you were too useful to be free. The financial debt was paid, but you just signed a lifetime contract with your own life. There is no cancel subscription button in hell. 3 months later, the cave route collapses, metaphorically and literally. The police discover it during another kid's shift. He ends up in juvenile detention. You survive by pure statistical luck. Management notices something you have that others don't. You have a brain. They decide you're too valuable to crawl on the ground like an insect. You get promoted. They give you a burner phone, a strategic position, and a new corporate title. You are now a hawk. Your job is to be the cartel's eyes and ears. For an average street kid, this is boring, but you're not average. You apply the same intelligence you used to get straight A's in school. You memorize federal patrol patterns, identify undercover vehicles by tire wear, and create alert codes no one else understands. Your efficiency increases by 200%. The local plaza boss calls you personally, gives you a cash bonus, and tells you 3 magical words. Good job, son. That phrase hits harder than any drug. Since your mother died, no one had told you that you mattered, that anyone respected you. Suddenly, dirty money buys clean shoes for your sister and hot food on the table. You begin to rationalize evil. You tell yourself you're a provider, a protector, a businessman. Fear disappears and is replaced by something far more dangerous: pride. You're starting to like the game. Everything changes on a stormy night. A rival gang decides to execute a hostile takeover of your territory using high-caliber lead instead of lawyers. You and your sister are caught in the crossfire while walking home. You try to shield her with your body, but the laws of physics are cruel, and bullets have no moral compass. A stray round, fired by an idiot who wasn't even aiming, pierces your sister's chest. Time stops. The sound of rain mixes with screams and sirens. You kneel in the mud, covered in blood, staring into her empty eyes. Your mind disconnects. You wait for the final shot. You want to die, but death rejects you. A gang member drags you by the collar out of the line of fire just before a grenade turns your previous position into a smoking crater. You survive, but the boy who wanted to be a politician dies on that sidewalk. You spend 3 days staring at a wall in silence. When you finally stand up, you're no longer an employee seeking approval. Grief has evaporated, leaving behind a solid block of ice. You swear at her empty grave that you won't seek justice, because justice is for the rich. You will seek revenge, and you won't stop until you erase their last names from the face of the earth. You decide that if you're going to be a monster, you'll be the smartest one of all. You study the art of war with the same discipline you once studied for exams. Your rise is meteoric. In 2 years, you're a zone manager. In 5 years, at age 30, you become the youngest deputy director in the organization's history. In the legal corporate world, you'd need a master's degree and 20 years of kissing ass. Here, positions open every time someone gets shot in the face. When the old boss dies of a heart attack, chaos erupts. The other lieutenants choose mindless violence. You choose politics. You understand a fundamental truth. Bullets kill people, but politics kill entire organizations. Instead of buying more guns, you buy a presidential candidate. You find a politician with boundless ambition and zero morals and make him an investment offer. You finance his campaign with unlimited money, and when he wins, he hands you the keys to the kingdom, a perfect symbiosis between organized crime and legalized crime. With power on your side, you launch your own PR campaign. You use blood-stained money to build schools, hospitals, and pave the streets of your neighborhood. People call you the savior. You inaugurate a clinic named after your late mother. You tell yourself you're fulfilling your dream of helping the poor, but deep down a voice whispers the truth. You're not helping anyone. You're just buying cheap loyalty and laundering your conscience with bricks and cement. You've become the politician you dreamed of as a child, except your mandate is built on corpses instead of votes. With political power in one hand and military power in the other, eliminating competition stops being a war and becomes a bureaucratic procedure. You ascend the throne. You're now the boss, the patron. Your first executive order is personal. The gang that killed your sister doesn't get a fair trial. Some die in casual police encounters. Others simply vanish inside maximum security prisons. It's cold, calculated revenge, ironically funded by taxpayer money. You honor your business promise. Your political partner wins the election. Now you have the president of the nation on your payroll. He's your most expensive employee, but also the most useful. With total immunity, you start playing God. You build schools, parks, and modern hospitals in your old neighborhood. People adore you. They call you the benefactor. You're technically fulfilling your childhood dream of helping the poor. But every night, as you look over your empire from a bulletproof balcony, doubt eats away at you. You don't know whether you're building these hospitals out of kindness or erecting massive monuments to silence the guilt of becoming the same demon who killed your father. You are a saint built on a mountain of bones. Just when you think you've won the game, you receive the most brutal termination notice in the world. A massive military operation surrounds your properties. Your partner, the president, has decided you're a loose end that needs to be cut to improve his international image. He betrayed you, but he made a rookie mistake. He forgot that in the criminal world, loyalty is a myth, but blackmail is a guarantee. You were always prepared. For years, you recorded every meeting, every bribe, every dirty handshake. You don't flee empty-handed. Before escaping, you activate your insurance policy. You leak terabytes of documents, videos, and audio recordings to the international press, proving the government is a subsidiary of your cartel. The scandal is nuclear. The president goes from the national palace to a federal cell in under 24 hours. But seeing him imprisoned isn't enough for you. Betrayal is paid in blood. You send a final order to your remaining loyal men inside the prison system. The former president suffers a tragic accident in the prison showers. With the country burning in political chaos that you orchestrated and your enemies dead, you feel like a genius. You flee to the coast with $100 million in cash and a fake passport, ready to disappear and enjoy retirement. Do you think you're the author of your own destiny? You arrive at the dock in the rain expecting to see the boat that will take you to your new life in Europe. But instead of a captain, a tactical squad greets you. It wasn't surveillance cameras or satellites that found you, it was an internal leak. From the shadows emerges your right-hand man, the lieutenant you raised like a son. He looks at you without remorse. He made a deal with the political enemies of the president you destroyed. You are the peace offering, the toxic asset that must be eliminated so the new order can begin. In the corporate world, they call it restructuring. Here, they call it betrayal. The trial is a televised spectacle, but the verdict was written before you entered the courtroom. Death penalty. As they strap you to the gurney and the cold needle touches your skin, time fractures. Your life rewinds before your eyes like a movie played in reverse. You see the buildings you constructed collapse. You see your enemies resurrect. You see blood return to your sister's veins. Suddenly, you're 14 again. You're standing in front of that lone poster, heartbroken and pockets empty. You wonder what would have happened if you'd chosen a different path. You wonder at what exact moment the boy who wanted to save his people became the monster who destroyed them. And as darkness swallows you, you realize the final irony. This entire empire, all this death, all this pain, was the accumulated interest on a debt of 5,000 pesos. That's all for today. The story you just heard is a work of fiction, but I'm convinced that somewhere in the world, people are living through identical circumstances right now. I hope you were able to extract some valuable lesson from this story. If so, let me know in the comments. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them. 2,